Welcome, everyone, to the Unrefined Podcast for the Everyman. I'm your host, Bill Brasky, and he's Liarz. On this episode, we uncover the mystery behind the magical guitar tone and sound on 1987's Appetite for Destruction, a sound that has never been duplicated or replicated. Slash's guitar on Appetite for Destruction was a 1959 Les Paul Standard replica built by Luther Chris DeRigg that Slash still uses today in studio. The guitar has become legendary in its own right, yet it cannot reproduce the sound it once did. Now you gotta be asking yourself, why? How is that possible? Well, the magician will now explain the trick. It's two modded amps from Studio Instrument Rentals in Los Angeles, amp number 39 and amp number 36. Amp number 39 was used by Slash during the Sound City days and before the Appetite for Destruction recording, and amp number 36 was actually used for Appetite for Destruction. Now, Slash at the time thought it was amp number 39, which many musicians at the time in the 80s in Los Angeles fell in love with. One of them was a guitar player from a band called Donkin. Am I correct, Liarz?
George Lynch was the guitar player for a band called Dawkin, which featured Don Dawkin back in the mid to late 80s. They released a couple of albums, very heavy metal-y, not bad stuff. George Lynch also went on to form a band called Lynch Mob after that, which put out a pretty solid album. They were a decent band for sure.
Yeah, but he fell in love with amp number 39, and it became well known in the musician community in Los Angeles at that time that amp number 39 was magical. And it was magical because it was actually a modded amp. It wasn't your regular amp that you just go buy. Obviously, it was made in the 70s. But it was an amp that was modded by a guy named Tim Caswell. And it had a different sound and a different tone than any other amp. So Slash absolutely fell in love with it. And he demanded this amp when he was going to go to the rental company to get, his music equipment instead of his guitar. He needed amplifiers and all the other shit. So Slash demanded to get amp number 39. The people over at Studio Instrument Rentals in Los Angeles was like, that's not a good idea, like renting out amp number 39 for that long of a period of time, because if we do, we're not going to be able to rent it out to other people, and it's the most, in-demand amp we have. So they came up with an ingenious idea. And you know what their ingenious idea was, Liarz?
What's that?
Well, they got the guy who replaced Tim Caswell, Frank Levy, and longtime repairman for SIR, which SIR stands for Studio Instrumental Rentals in Los Angeles, Glenn Buckley, to make another amp, to mod amp number 36. Now, amp number 36 and amp number 39 have a lot of similarities. One of the main differences, though, is that amp number 36's gain function is always on. You can never turn it off. So, Slash thought he had amp number 39, went and recorded Appetite for Destruction, gave it that iconic sound, which, dude, the guitar sound on Appetite for Destruction is the greatest guitar sound I've ever heard on any album. Do you agree with that, Liarz, or do you disagree?
I 100% agree. The sound that Slash has, the tone that he has, is very unique. And if you're a big Guns N' Roses fan like we are, you can easily tell the difference between his tone from Appetite to the Use Your Illusion albums. If I'm not mistaken, amp 39 is also used on Art of Lies. If it's not, I think it's on the first side of Lies, the live side, correct?
Yes, because that was recorded back during the 1986-87, right before they started the Appetite for Destruction recording. So, yes, it also appeared on their original EP that came out before Appetite for Destruction. Now, if you've noticed on Use Your Illusions, Slash's guitar tone and sound, it's similar, but it's not the same. The sound that Slash had on Appetite for Destruction, is right up there. The only thing I could honestly say is comparable to me, and this is me being, I'm not a guitar player, but I love music, would be Randy Rhoads on Blizzard of Oz. You know what I mean? Like, something that sticks out to me like, holy crap, this is like something I've never heard someone do with a guitar. Eddie Van Halen also, on the David Lee Roth era of Van Halen, would do that stuff all the time, but those are the three guys that I'm talking about. You're talking Randy Rhoads, you're talking Eddie Van Halen, and you're talking Slash. But I still haven't heard exactly the kind of like rawness and aggressiveness and anger in a guitar that I've ever heard on Appetite for Destruction again or before, anywhere else. So it turns out that Slash thought he had amp number 39. It was amp number 36 the whole time. And Slash did not want to give back this amp. Like, he's like, oh, I sound like a guitar god with this amp. I am now up there with Clapton. I'm up there with Hendrix. I'm not giving this amp back. And these gentlemen were none too happy about it, were they, Liarz?
Absolutely not. So back in the summer of 1987, Glenn, a tech who worked at SIR, got wind that Guns N' Roses were coming into the SIR studios at Stage 6 to rehearse for their upcoming tour, opening for The Cult, which actually the first show was in Canada, in Halifax, so it's pretty cool for my end. So he had about a 2-week window here of rehearsal time that Guns N' Roses was going to be there, and he took a chance that number 36 was going to be there. So if Slash brought the amp to the rehearsals, which he thought would be unlikely at the time, if Slash did bring the amp to rehearsals, he'd be able to get it back. So we called a couple other techs to see if they could find 36, and they didn't. So a few days later, Glenn was working, and he was informed by one of the dispatchers on duty that 36 had just been spotted. So the dispatcher, knowing that 36 was like a personal issue for Glenn, smiled and gave Glenn the keys to the van and said, head on down there. So yeah, Glenn took a couple drivers with him to act as witnesses and provide a little extra muscle if they needed it. But Glenn didn't know if Guns N' Roses would be there or not, but he walked in and there he saw 36 and went up and grabbed it and kind of smiled at the roadie or techie and just kind of walked out with it.
Now, Glenn has said that he, up until his time of leaving in 1989, that amp number 39 and 36 were still available for rent from studio instrumental recordings, but no one knows where it went. Rumors have said that George Lynch has been seen playing with it, over the years, sometime in the 90s, but its whereabouts, it's completely gone. So this magical amp that was able to make the sound and Appetite for Destruction has been pretty much vanished off the face of the earth. In 2010, though, Slash and Marshall got together and they came around. They did the Marshall AFD 100 amp. Liarz, I know you got a pic of that. Can you throw that up for the audience? Now, I got this article from my friend Diesel Daisy over at badapplesforum.com. Really smart guy, knows a lot about guitars, and he pointed me down this rabbit hole, which, oh God, is it a rabbit hole. A lot of work was put into this article that I read. We're not going to link to it, but if you want to go over to badapplesforum.com, check out Slash's guitar shapes and models thread. It will have a link to the article there. I would give credit to the author of the article, but the website that was linked at the bottom of the website that I read it on no longer exists. So I kind of think this is one of those things that as times pass, people just disappear. But as Diesel Daisy put it, even with this amp coming out, it just wasn't able to get the right sound that amp number 36 had. So in Diesel Daisy's exact words, so when Marshall tried to build one for him, it was like deciphering the hieroglyphics without the Rosetta Stone. It just never quite got right. It never had the same sound. And these are with people that have, high input computers, Pro Tools, everything like that. They can't create a sound that 3 studio techs and a repairman, or 3 techs and one. What would you say? Would it be they were all techs, or would you count them as repairmen? I mean, tomatoes. So these guys working in 1980s LA just for an instrument rental company were able to create a sound that, $100 million music instrument company can't do. Isn't that insane?
It's insane. It's an iconic sound, and if you want to, I know we referenced Dawkins earlier in the episode. If you want to hear the album that George Lynch was working on, it's called Under Lock and Key by Dawkins, and it's a hair metal band of the 80s, but the guitars are pretty dirty on it. Not quite like Slash's, well, because it's 2 different amps actually, but the one in question at the beginning was amp 39, and that was the one that both Slash and Don Dawkins wanted. George Lynch wanted. So that's the album where he plays on it. So
it has a lot of similarities between 36 and 39.
Absolutely.
They're very, very, very close. Just 36, like I said, has that automatic gain, which it's always on. And that's what I think, if you listen to songs like Night Train, that's where the difference comes in. Sweet Child of Mine, that's where the difference comes in. Those are the songs that, Slash has, obviously played thousands and thousands of times since, they just never have sounded the same. And people are like, listen, I love Buckethead's version of Night Train, which is amazing. I love Buckethead's version of Night Train.
Amazing.
But guess what? he still can't make Slash's guitar tone off Appetite for Destruction.
No.
Neither can Slash.
No, and if you listen to Slash now, especially now that is he moving away from Marshalls now, or is he moving away from Les Pauls? Either or, it doesn't matter. He's evolving.
You'd have to ask whatever his latest sponsor is. I know that he's still using the Les Paul replica that he's been using since Appetite in studio, which is crazy because all the albums sound different. Like Contraband, people might disagree with me, was kind of the most Guns N' Roses Appetite sounding guitar sound I've heard from him, but Libertard did not sound anything like Appetite or Contraband. And I know that he used this new amp for, what was it, Anastasia? Is that right? Which was the 2010 Slash album?
Oh, there's Apocalyptic
Love?
Yeah. I believe that's the one that has Anastasia.
That's the one he used it for. Okay, so that's why. Yeah, so I'm not as big a Slash fan as you are. So Apocalyptic Love actually has this Marshall AFD 100 amp on there. And how does it sound, like, comparatively to the other Slash stuff? This is the one they try to make.
Apocalyptic Love is arguably his best solo album.
Wow, even better than Snake Pit?
No, of the Slash and Miles Kennedy albums, of the 4 Slash and Miles Kennedy albums, Apocalyptic Love is arguably the best of the 4.
Okay, but the tone and sound, is it close to what you were getting in Appetite?
I wouldn't say that it's close, but it's definitely Slash. Do you know what I mean?
Dude, no, I want your opinion on this, Liarz. And audience, I want your opinion too. Like when I listen to the Spaghetti Incident, instead of Since I Don't Have You, I really don't hear Slash much.
Fair enough.
I mean, am I crazy for saying that?
No, but they're also not his songs, right? He's playing other people's songs.
I mean, that kind of explains the whole, GNR reunion releases. That's right, folks. You hear the General, you hear the Monsters, Atlas, nothing. Boy, Slash doesn't sound great. Well, guess what? They're not his songs. The only one that is actually Slash's song, which people won't believe me, but hey, screw you, I'm right, you're wrong. Hard School is actually, that's a Slash song.
Is it now? Interesting.
Yeah, it's Jackie Chan.
That's right.
Yeah, 1997, Duff on Howard Stern. Oh, yeah, we're working on a song for the Jackie Chan album. This and that. Yeah, we were working on it in 96. Yeah, when Slash was still in the studio before he quit. Yeah, it's about, and I still say it's about Izzy. But hey, we're getting off topic here. Listen, the reason Appetite for Destruction sounds so great is because of a modded amp. It's Marshall amp number 36 from the Studio Instrumental Rental Company in Los Angeles. If you have this amp, please let us know, because we would like to blackmail Slash into releasing the rest of the Guns N' Roses songs from the 90s so we can just end this chapter of our lives. Once again, this was a really interesting thing that I didn't know until my buddy Diesel Daisy pointed out to me. That's over at badapplesforum.com under guitar Slash guitar shapes. I learned about, that Slash still uses the Les Paul that he's had since Appetite for all the studio stuff, that he tours with Jessica and Victoria, which, okay, dude, you have chick names, which kind of weird chick names, too. They kind of sound like women that you'd find on a Lifetime movie. Who's that? That's Jessica and Victoria. I mean, kind of weird, but hey, Slash is kind of an odd dude. But it was really interesting to find out about this amp and how much an amp can really change the landscape of music and the sound of music. Liarz, is there anything else you want to add to this?
I'm good.
Jeez, don't be too excited. Good Lord. Audience, let us know. I mean, here's the deal. Me and Liarz are not musicians by any means. We're just assholes critiquing music. Could we be wrong?
Right.
No, we're not. We're right. You're wrong.
We're right.
But you can let us know in the... Oh, fuck them. They're not listening anyways. We get the YouTube analytics. We went over our channel numbers. We got a lot of views, but we see the view time. Absolutely. If you're listening this far, you're really our friends and fans. We appreciate you, but chances of you, no, you're not going to hear this. No one's going to hear this. It's just us. All right? We're telling you the truth. The other guys are going to lie to you. They're like, oh, no, everyone listens to our show for the whole time. No. Share your analytics. Share them. We will. Hell, most people don't even get past the intro. Oof. I'll tell you, that hurts, folks. That hurts. Listen, this episode was hard for me and Liarz to do because the whole time we just wanted to tell you, about, hey, this is a really cool thing. we don't understand it because it's really technical and neither one of us play guitar. But hey, guess what? It's awesome. This is why Appetite for Destruction sounds so fucking cool. And we probably did a piss poor job explaining it because it's not effort. It sure as fuck wasn't effort. I spent 6 hours last night trying to figure this out, how to do it. This is our 4th time in the last hour trying to record this podcast because I fucked it up so many times. All right? So what I'm going to ask of you to do is leave a comment. Be it a negative one, positive one. Let's be a positive one, but come on. The world has enough shit negativity that some positive. I know we're shit radio, but come on. Leave us a nice comment below. Give us a like. If you haven't subscribed to us, come on. Subscribe. We're amusing. We're funny. Liarz is going to leave this in. Don't worry. All the other shit we're going to have to edit out where we're flubbing over words. You know, Liarz kept calling me Stuttering Stanley, which, come on, Liarz. That's mean. Yep, see? He didn't deny it, no, did he, folks? All right. Liarz, it's that time. Take us out, please. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Look for us on YouTube. That's our main channel. Hit like and subscribe. Listen to the end. Let us know that you listen to the end because we'd like to hear, you still be there at the end. If you're not on YouTube, check us out on Rumble, Spotify, and from Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen.
She radio never die. She radio.